There are some really garbage designs that it just shows that Subaru really does not care about their customers. We're gonna go to the microscope and we're gonna chase that fix. Okay, so here's the issue with the radio. Can you tell me what's wrong with this? So on the other side of this board is a volume knob that pushes. It pushes in like a button. And when you push the button, the board, look at this. This is trash, dude. Look, we're holding in this board right here with this trace, and a little bit of ground here. That's all that's holding this button in. Are you gonna tell me that this design was not intentional? You've gotta be kidding me. Like, they could have, okay, look. Do you see how this is a different color than this? That means that this is all a ground plane here. And this is all a ground plane here. They could have just like made this all one piece so that this wouldn't be a problem. Everything runs through this radio. My customer says that this was causing his car battery to die. Not only is that problematic, the fact that he can't use his entire radio because this turns it on and off is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look at this. I push in the button and the whole board is freaking moving, dude. You gotta be kidding me. All right. So this is the plan. This is how we're gonna execute success on this job. We're gonna have to grind down some of the board in the areas so we're not touching these vias. We're gonna have to run some solder wick between here and here, maybe up here and here, and maybe over here and here. That way it just mounts the board in perfect, and then we're gonna have to also run jumpers for all of these connections as well. So it looks like we have 3 connections that are broken. I'm not worried about this one because this is just ground, but this is, I mean, this is just unacceptable. Come on, Subaru. For this job, I'm gonna use a grinding pen. Really what we just need to do is grind away the board here so we can create a giant mounting pad for our mount. All right, so if we clean up the board here, now we have a nice little pad that we can solder to. And I'm probably gonna add a couple extra mounts here because realistically, this is just awful what Subaru has done. All right, now that we have enough ground down here, we're gonna apply flux all around this board because we just need to solder in some jumpers, some grounding strap that basically mounts this whole thing in. I mean, I talk about right to repair from time to time, and I talk about, oh, well, you know, if this charging port wasn't soldered on, then you could easily swap it out with a replacement, especially like a USB port or a USB-C port when you see those that need to be replaced on like a laptop or whatever. Yeah, I mean, because that poses a problem for most people that don't do this type of work. But now we're getting into cars now. I mean, like this is an actual problem. Now we're going to use this solder wick as a bridge to basically mount this and make it as secure as we can. All right, I'm going to test the integrity. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm pushing the button in, and you might be able to see the board. It's not even flexing. This board would have never broke if Subaru would have made that design choice. So we're gonna go ahead and clean up the board really quick before we fix those 3 lines that need to be fixed. Make sure you're gonna run a jumper from here, and then we'll probably ground down over here. The reason I wanna give a little bit extra length to our jumper, so in case this board does flex, I doubt it will now, but just in case it does, we'll have a little bit of space for that jumper to flex. And we're good over there. Connect the jumper here. Give it a little bit of flex, but not much. All right, we got that jumper soldered in. Now the wire I am using to solder this in is actually an enameled wire, and that means that we can technically touch it to ground if we wanted to while it's connected to the line, and it's not going to short. It has a special coating on it that actually isolates it from any other connections, so we should be good. Soon I'm going to be investing in a micro pencil, and this will probably make this job a whole lot easier, but I mean, whatever for now. Soldering iron I have works. We'll give the wire a little bit of slack. Not much, but a little bit. That way, if this thing does flex, it's not going to just break the trace right off the board. Clean up the area, and clean up the area. And last but not least, this guy right here. I'll run the jumper over here, be a little bit fancy. And we'll run it right here. That should be more than sufficient for this job. Clean that. Clean that. Add a little bit of fluxy flux to both sides. Apply some solder to that guy right there. This iron sucks. Not the iron, it's the tip. My tip is just about out. But I mean, we'll get the job done with it still. This is definitely, I mean, okay. We have married chips, we have crappy boards, like, you know, the audio I see on the iPhone 7. But like when I see stuff like this, man, this is absolute planned obsolescence. This is the worst I've ever seen when it comes to like right to repair and job security. I mean, this is just god awful. I mean, this is horrendous. In fact, this is worse than horrendous. It's disgusting. The fact that this is a radio put in a 2018 vehicle that just, it has this issue. This is ridiculous. It's a new car. This is a newer car. I mean, it's not like new, but it's new. Clean up the area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to touch this up with some solder mask and call it a day officially, and we should be good to go. Why is right to repair so important? Because crap like this exists. Come on, Subaru, do better.